What's going on YouTube? Skinny Rahmaan. And I don't know, is it slow? I hope not. I haven't been live in a minute on YouTube. I hope everybody's doing good. As my caption says, they smoking dust, y'all, or something. It might not be dust, but there's been a lot of commentary videos and such of people going around saying that children being raised in single mother homes are worse off than what? And I think that shit is crazy. Like, so you see that, okay, a nuclear family raising children is better than a single parent home. We're used to seeing that. And of course, two parents raising their children is going to be better for so many reasons. One is the income level is going to be higher with two parents. We understand that. But these are fathers' rights groups that, well, one in particular that I saw yesterday, and it said, the meme said that children were worse off being raised in with single mothers or by single mothers. I thought that was completely insane. Now we know that there's a competition between parents who raises kids better, so now they're saying that kids are better off being raised. I guess this is what he was saying, or what this meme was saying, being raised in single father homes. But then, because I said, what research are y'all basing this on? Because you got to think, if these kids aren't being raised by their single mothers, then who's going to have them? Are they going into the system, foster care? Are they going up for adoption? Sometimes these fathers are deceased. Sometimes there's nobody to raise these kids but their mothers. So to make a statement like that for some clicks and some views is insane to me. Now I understand, like, when I first started in the movement, it was really about getting some type of reform. Like, it was about the individual families, like really trying to get the government out of the system, the system of the family. Pushing the narrative that we didn't need government involvement in taking care of our children. Now it's who can shit on which parent the most. And when it comes down to it, it's not, okay, I want to say this so I'm very clear. So you have the one side that's saying the fatherless children are destroying society. Like, all the ills of society comes from these fatherless children raised because the father is not in the home. Now you have the other side saying that single mothers are destroying these children and they need to be with their fathers. Well, in the middle, you have these children that are being raised by parents that are constantly shitting on each other. And now people are, who's the adults raising these kids? If they're both saying either one of them or both are saying that they're both shitty, then who's really the fault? Who's really to blame on these children that are supposedly creating all the havoc and chaos and crime and everything else? Because nobody's being grown. So then that makes me think, should the government really step in? Because who's being a grown-up? Because these people are laying down. We lay down with and have sex and get married and have these kids, and then when we don't get our way or whatever the situation is, then we can't stand each other and the other person ain't shit. And then I don't want you seeing my kid and she's not fit to raise my kid by herself, or he's a deadbeat and he ain't shit unless he's paying me $1,000 a month, and then he still can't see my kid. And then we wonder why the government steps in and tries to regulate this stuff. It just baffles me. And I couldn't, when I saw the meme and I said something, and of course, you know, people start commenting to me saying, oh, that's garbage what you're saying. And I'm like, how is it garbage? Because I'm just saying how I feel. You're shitting on a single mother that sometimes that's all that child has. Because as much as I fight for, or have fought for fathers' rights and equality for fathers, some fathers are bad fathers. Some fathers abandon, literally walk away from their children. That's a reality. Not every father is a good father. And the same thing applies. Some single mothers are bad mothers. So yeah, the kid is worse off with her. So it's an individual thing. You cannot govern families as if they're the same. Families are not the same. And that's the big thing. They try to, you know, okay, this income model is going to dictate what this child support should be. And I think I got kicked off. What this income model should be, and you have this government that's taking advantage of the people, of us, robbing the kids, robbing the parents of rights of each other. But then you have the parents acting this way, good enough to sleep with, good enough to marry, good enough while the getting's good, but then when you're not together, you're acting crazy, saying what the other person can't do for that child. And people are getting killed out here, and I can't say for sure, this is my opinion, but this rhetoric online is dangerous, it's reckless. And a lot of these organizations that claim they are for fathers' rights are just getting paid off of your misery. They're no better than these fucking judges or these fucking lawyers or these fucking agencies, the government. They get paid off of this shit, putting dangerous, reckless, and then they put up these stats, and these stats are ran by lobbyists that are paid by these same lawyers. It's a big business. This is multi-billion-dollar industry. This is the same politics. These are politics. These are Democrats and Republicans. And you see how they fight. So I'm saying that to say that shitting on single mothers. I'm talking about single mothers that's sitting up there getting it, going to work 2-3 jobs, making sure their kids eat. You know, yeah, they might get some food stamps. They might live in public housing, all that. I did that. You know what I'm saying? That shit's hard. That ain't no joke. Why would anybody besides some asshole sit up there and shit on somebody doing that, just like a single father? Like, like what? Catching the bus with your kids or whatever, like in the winter, February with ice on the ground, catching the Coda bus. Shout out Columbus. Come on now. My kids were not worse off with me. And y'all need to, y'all do whatever y'all want to do, but I'm not myself as an advocate for over a decade, fighting for fathers' rights, parental rights, equal rights, child support reform, all that good stuff. I'm not standing by and watch or listen to or see organizations that are supposed to be for fathers' rights sit up there and dog single mothers because they feel that they had that right or some kind of authority. You don't have no authority like that, especially when you're not doing anything to remedy what you think the situation is. These same people will sit online and push this nonsense, but won't try to get a bill passed. They won't try to help out the kids that they think are in these worst homes. They push statistics that are fucking 50 years old. I said, well, what proof do you have of that? Where's your source? They post a source where the statistics are from the 40s, the 50s. You can't, that shit don't apply now. I just had to vent a little bit for the reasons that I stated. Like, that stuff is not what's going on right now. It's detrimental to kids. It's detrimental to families. It's detrimental to just society. So just, you know, just be cautious, you guys, when y'all are online and following this group or that organization, just because they say that they are for, you know, the rights of fathers or the rights of mothers or whatever their cause. Just look a little bit deeper, because some people are being paid to piss you off. They're getting paid to pit mom against dad because they are just like the same people that they claim to be fighting against. They get paid off of clicks and views and things like that, and they don't give back. They don't organize any marches. They don't do anything like that. And this is real quick before I go. So here's another issue that comes up when I'm, you know, online or whatever. When I say, you know, y'all get off the computer, go protest, go do this. And I've gotten, well, dads can't go get off work. Who else is going to pay the bills? Who's going to do this or that? How we going to pay our child support? Sometimes it comes a time in life when you're fighting for something important or somebody important, like your children or your rights, that you don't go to work. Sometimes you go to jail. Sometimes you lose your way of life. And that's, people been doing it throughout history. People fight for their rights like that. Like, fuck this job. I'm not paying child support. They gonna have to come get me. Sometimes that's what protesting is about. And if it's like 100,000, 200,000, 500,000 of all you fathers that feel the same way, y'all just stop doing what y'all been saying that y'all not going to do, then they will have to listen. Women do it all the time. So that's just my 2 cents. Let me get to my comments. And thanks everybody. If you can, like and subscribe, and y'all know all the good stuff. If not, you know, that's what's up. I think the comparison, single mother and father raising the children. Right. And that's just, the comparison is just common sense. Yes, I'm not saying that it's not good to have the mom and dad in the house. I was raised by my mom and dad. Yeah, you want your both parents in the house. That's ideal. But that's not what's going on. And they always compare from the 60s or the 50s to what's going on now as far as the nuclear family and marriage rates. That's not what's going on. So we've made that clear. And there are some very successful children, adults now, who have been raised by single parents. So can we just lay off of that? It can be done. And nuclear families are one family structure. That's not the only family structure. So stop, just the powers that be. Because, you know, divide and conquer is the best way to win a war. You know, divide everybody. So now, because we done figured out the child support hustle and we know about the shared parenting, all that stuff. So now they coming into like, okay, now the father and the mother, now the mother is the worst parent. Now we know that's not true. And then somebody put some shit up like, oh, the mother is only the best parent or the most significant parent between the ages of 1 and 4. And then after that, the father from those ages. Why can't both the mother and the father be necessary, needed all through the child's life, even if they're not in the same home? Like, why is that so hard for people to understand, except if they have a motive, an agenda? Right, 2 parents, 2 co-parents, healthy. The child sees that they are loved, even if you don't get along outside of what your child sees. As long as the child sees that when they're with you guys, that y'all are getting along, the child should be the only person that matters. I mean, yes, you matter, but not that much when it comes to your child. Once you have a child, they are the number one person while they're a child. That's just my opinion. And if you're not ready to give that sacrifice, you shouldn't be having kids. I love you too. I can't see Josh. I think that says Josh. Oh, it's my pleasure. I really, I think as I've shifted what I talk about, I talk about welfare did not destroy the Black family, and I'm doing more research. I'm getting more slack because I'm not just talking about child support. And so people that are new to, listening or watching my videos and listening to me speak, they don't know my background and talking about, or my background in father's rights and child support reform. But I am a strong supporter of father's rights and shared parenting and equal rights across the board. So thank you, Josh. I love you back, and I'm gonna always be that. But I never have felt that it was necessary to build up one group and shit on the other group. Like, okay, we're number 1 over here, but they're number 0. Like, it's just, I don't get into that. Like, moms are number 1, dads are shit. Dads are number 1, moms are shit. Like, why can't we all be number 1? Everybody's going to have their shortcomings because nobody's perfect, but they were perfect enough for you to I can't think of the word, but reproduce with. So just raise your kids. Damn. The majority. Fathers missing children from youth to adulthood is rare, so it's difficult. Wait a minute, I'm not understanding. You say there are some which consider exceptions, but focusing on the majority of kids raised by single. Yeah, it would be a good research topic. I agree. How could you vote fathers do a better job? There's not a lot of fathers raising their children because we have a biased court system. The majority of mothers are awarded custody because of the way the court system is set up. And nowadays there's more unmarried couples having babies than married couples, but that's another topic for another video. And I said that too. How they compared the two, saying single mothers are the worst, they can't, that there's no proper research that could have been conducted, because you can't track that. What you're saying is exactly right. That's what I said in my comment. Like, that, you can't track that. So, okay, guys, thanks for joining me. Don't forget, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. If you want to support me, you can go to my store and buy a t-shirt, or you can do a super chat and all that kind of stuff. Y'all know I'm an independent journalist working on my book, Welfare Did Not Destroy the Black Family. I don't know what I'm gonna call it yet, but yeah, you can check out my website, thechildsupporthustle.com. Articles and things if you need help with your case, child support case. I have a ton of information on there. I have videos here on YouTube that can hopefully guide you in the right direction, and get some resolve on your case. There's some info. I've done some videos for veterans, disabled veterans that have compensation, letting you know how to kind of navigate. They're not supposed to garnish your disability. If you get SSI, they're not supposed to touch that. And a ton of stuff. I've been doing this for a long time. I'm not a lawyer, but I am an advocate, and I fought and got my case closed back in 2000 and what was it, 6? No, that's when I started. I don't even remember when I got the case closed, but I got my, as a custodial parent, closed, and the arrears erased against my daughter's father in Ohio. The arrears were 30 something thousand, and I wrote a book about it, The Child Support Hustle. The book, I put our court papers in the back of the book in the appendix. So there's a ton of information. If you ever hear about Title 4D funding, I just break the whole thing down in my book. So it's not like my story or anything like that. It's just how I broke the system down, like how stuff I didn't know. So if you are curious about how that child support system works with welfare cases, Title 4D cases, that's what my book is about. You can get it on thechildsupporthustle.com. All right, guys, make sure y'all notifications are on so y'all know when I'm going live, okay? All right, peace.